Hey guys, today I'm in Hoi An. Hoi An, as for the one who don't know, is one of the most iconic city in Vietnam. As you can see on my back, there is this French style architecture that has been built. That's why so many of you guys ask me to review some of the most well-known cities in Vietnam to move in. And here we are today in Hoi An. So from now, every time I will travel to a new city, I will try to give you a quick 5 to 10 minute feedback so you can see if that city fits your expectation and if you wanna probably move in those kind of city. So here we are in Hoi An. So as you can see, the most things that tourists and expats are like in the city is the architecture. So you have this mix between a Vietnamese city and also the colonial part that the French built before. So you have a lot of temples like this one. That's a city that is basically one of the most visited every time in Vietnam. Nowadays we are just after the lockdown, so that's why there is not so many people there. But usually that's a city that is very popular. So you will see tourists from all over the world coming here. That's why that's one of the place that also many expats choose to live in. So today I want to give you a little bit my feedback about this city. I've been here for a few days for tourism, and I also was able to meet the expat community, chit chat a little bit, and so I want to give you a little bit my experience and my feedback about this city. So on my back you see here is one of the most famous bridge, is the Japanese bridge that has been built by the Japanese, I think in 1700 years. Basically it's a city that is very joyful. It's easy to come here. You have direct flight from most of the cities in Vietnam, and many expats are living here. So as I was telling you, it's pretty easy to come here, to live. You can, in this video actually, I will tell you how you can come here, what's the advantages to move to this city. So you will see basically that the food is very good. I will tell you a little bit about the different dish. The accommodation is also, it's pretty easy to find a long-term rental here. And because you have an expat and a tourist community, then you won't feel the language barrier that you can see in other cities in Vietnam. So this video I'm gonna tell you first about why I like this city to come here. So here, as I was saying, the food is very good. You have two dishes that are very popular. It's the com ga, so the the chicken and the rice, and you have the second one that is mi wang. So it's noodle. You can have it either with pork or with chicken. That's the two main dish of the city. So about the other aspects of the city is that you have these rivers. We are very near the sea. We are about 45 minutes from Da Nang. So Da Nang has an international airport. So for instance, if you move here, it's pretty easy to get international flight from most of the places in Southeast Asia. So let's say you live here, you have your long-term staying here, and you can easily travel everywhere. Let's say at the beginning you are on visa run, or you just come here a few months per year. It's a pretty nice area to live in. The architecture is amazing, as you can see on my back. Now we are in the middle of the day, but still it's something that you have all in the city. You have this old town with this river on my back. So this is that's why it's a place most of the people like to come to. I was mentioning about the expat community. Actually, we met yesterday some of the expat living here. It's pretty good to the business here because you have a huge amount of tourists coming every year because it's in the middle of Vietnam. that area attracts either European tourists, but also Korean and Chinese tourists. So because we are very near Da Nang, it's a place that is very under this touristic hotspot that people have to come to. You see, so this city, I will show you some video now about last night. So you will see all the lantern, all the candles that are lightning during the night. So that's why this city is well known as the candle city of Vietnam. Regarding to the food, as I was telling you, it's amazing. So in the north, usually you have more something that is more flavor. In the south of Vietnam, it's something more sweet. And here in the middle, it will be a little bit between. So a little bit salted. That's why some of the people say the food of Da Nang and of Hoi An is one of the best of Vietnam. And I kind of agree about that. It's very tasty and it's pretty cheap. Actually here, you have both. So let's say you wanna come to the touristic area, you come to the old town here, but at the same time you can also go a little bit outside of the city. Let's say you take your bike for 5 minutes and you will be in a more Vietnamese local area, and then you can eat for a very good price. Yesterday, for instance, we eat for 2 people 60K, so it's about $3, and we had water included and the main dish. So yeah, as if you plan to move to Hoi An for a long period of time, you can find good apartments in a good area, let's say in the old town here, so you are next to all the commodities. You can easily hang out during the night. You have the old market, the night market, sorry, that is over there every night. So it's pretty chill. You have many expats and tourists who are here using only bicycles, so you don't even need to rent a bike. And even if you want to rent a bike, it's pretty affordable. So that's why it's one of the cities that is under the spotlight of the long-term expats and retired people who want to come here. I was mentioning you about the language barrier in some of the big cities like Saigon and Hanoi. Sometimes you can feel a little bit, it can be a little bit hard to talk to the locals. Not because they are not nice, it's just that they are a little bit shy. That's why you can see when you come to Asia, you will see that the Thai people are very friendly, very outgoing, and the Vietnamese people will be a little bit more shy. So that's why in those kind of cities you won't feel that. Most of the people talk in English because it's very touristic. They are used to meet a lot of tourists. So you won't even need to have to learn Vietnamese. You can easily get into the local life and rent by yourself a motorbike, find by yourself an accommodation to live in, and your stuff will be pretty easy. And also, as I was mentioning, we are very near to Da Nang. So Da Nang is the third biggest city in Vietnam. There we have the international airport, so we are 45 minutes ride from there. So it's pretty easy to move there. You can easily move in all of the Southeast Asian countries directly from this airport. So that's why Hoi An is one of the best cities I would recommend for someone who want to come to Vietnam. In terms of job opportunities, as I met the expats yesterday, most of them told me that either you have to open your own business. So because of this huge amount of tourists coming every year, it would be pretty smart to open, let's say, a restaurant, a typical restaurant. Let's say you are German, you can open maybe a German restaurant. You're French, you can open a kind of French-style restaurant or doing some crepe or something, maybe a bakery. So you can mostly have as a customer the tourist, target the tourist. If you want to open a business in Vietnam, I made a video dedicated for this, so I'll let you check here on the eye. You can click and reach the other video, you can learn more about that. And in terms of job opportunities, everything will be related more to tourism. So again, if you speak different languages, if you are in, if you have experience in working for hotel, for tourists, with a tourist diploma or degree, then you may be able to find a job in Hoi An. You do have a lot of English teachers as well, because in this area, as I say, it's a pretty big city around. Then many English teachers are coming here to teach English, so you can also find a job about in this industry. So I think I cover a little bit everything you need to know about Hoi An. If you like my video, feel free to leave a thumbs up and to leave a comment below, so that will show me that you enjoy this kind of video, a little bit less serious and not only talking about business opportunities and investment in Vietnam, but also more videos about expat life and how you can come here and have a good life in Vietnam. So feel free to leave a comment, let me what you think about that, and I see you in the next video.